Welcome to the video. It's SoFi Wednesday. Big picture if you don't want to stick around for the whole video. I'm still super bullish on this one. I think 2025 is going to be banging for it. In this video, we'll talk about the daily and weekly price action so we can get a feel for when price can move, where price can move in the short term, long term. This will help us identify where we're going to add, where we're going to trim in line with our risk tolerances, and it's going to keep us a level head whilst the market's choppy. We'll also talk about the open options interest. This will give us a feel for what the big boys are doing with the stock and the market makers. Other than that, we'll touch on some news, and finally, my eToro portfolio is going to be linked in the description down below. Right, I'm going to have to blaze through this super quick. I've got a meeting in 40 minutes and then I've got a business lunch. And nice that I've got my assistant here today. Hello, Lily Bobs. But let's quickly just dive straight into the chart, shall we? So my kind of fair value for this one currently is still 16, and we're obviously way under that. I'm willing to pay up to maybe around $21 up to and through 2025. I think this is... For me, I'm still giving it a hybrid multiple. I know the tech platform has not quite been what everyone envisioned and the growth's not been there, but I believe that's coming in 2025. And also the new business pivot they've got with the loans as kind of a serviceable feature. Super low risk. A lot of the risk is with the providers. I mean, there's some risk there that they don't use them all, but for the most part, it's going to be really good for the business. But again, that's not something traditionally other banks will be pushing, at least not in these size deals. So let's have a look. Obviously, I've been adding super aggressively on this one. All the way down here, this pullback really, Robinhood came out with a new product as well. It was a lot of glitz and glamour, a little bit of substance, but really not a whole lot of threat to SoFi. So, I mean, both companies will do really well. I hold both companies, just to be really clear. But I believe SoFi goes for a different style of customer as well. I am writing an article on that, so keep an eye on my website. So I'll be posting that soon. So yeah, we've come right back down. Really, the chart looks like a disaster, to be honest. It's just been a very violent sell-off. To some degree, they are affected by the macroeconomics, but they've been very clear and they've priced in guidance that's very pessimistic in the last two earnings reports, I think. I'm pretty much expecting the same in a few weeks. I think we've got earnings on this one. 29th of April, so yeah, quite soon. Other than that, the chart's telling me we've had a really good rebound here. If we can hold this level, we'll be super happy. But if not, we're probably going to push lower again. Volume shelf, the strongest strong support really sits at 744. Ideally, we don't want to get that low, but I'm happy to buy more shares at that price if the market wants to sell them to me. Obviously, when price was moving up, I was trimming out at all these key levels. It's getting quite hard to see the chart easily because it's been such a violent swinger. It sounds like a song title. But yeah, you can see I've been adding, selling out, trading the volatility on this one. I never thought I'd be trading a bank/fintech like this, but there you go. I mean, measured move to the downside is pretty much completed from what I was expecting. So hopefully the low is in, provided old Trumpy boy doesn't flap his lips much more. A Fed rate cut will be really good for these guys. But really, we want to see some excitement earnings. I think a lot of the investor base has been getting super frustrated with SoFi, and the communications not been great, especially around Galileo. And really, we are seeing that as investors start to flock out of this one. A lot of the bigger investors that I've seen on X as well have been capitulating and exiting their positions. Not me though. But technically wise, like we say, measured moves complete. If we're going to have a bounce here would be nice. The bull market band is quite girthy though, so that's going to give us some issue when we get back up there. But for the most part, the volume's really low when we look at the volume shelves here. I mean, if we can get above this one and start, chopping around between these levels, that'd be great for us to base around. RSI is quite low. MACDX Plus looks bearish, but we are getting a lot of bottom signals here, and as well as that, on the flow indicator we've got 3 golden bars. So I think the chances are strong that the bottom's in on this one, provided the macro doesn't do. I think earnings should be pretty good. The web search criteria. I've got a chart on the news page for that, shows the volume's been going up, so we should see some member growth as well, which is exciting, and hopefully get more information on the loan business as well, because that was only announced in a news update. Let's look at the weekly though. Like I say, the chart's starting to look really chaotic because there's been a lot going on with this one. Super fun to trade. We've taken advantage of that several times, right away from the low at $4. So, it's been an exciting ride, and it's not about to stop anytime soon, I don't think. But again, I mean, we could argue this is a cup and handle. It's not the best looking one, but a measured move on that one would be quite large. I'm not going to trade that pattern because I think the price target is just a bit insane for a 1 to 2 year reach. That said, it could happen if Galileo just moons, but I'm not in that camp. I think it's going to be great, but not that great. RSI looks cooked. MACDX Plus is converging. Don't like that. Would like to see that start to separate again. And flow is negative on this one. So the weekly doesn't look great. Would have preferred if this green candle was a bit more engulfing of the red one, just to give us a bit more confluence the reversals in. But again, you can see this massive volume shelf here. That one's going to be really good support at 727, so would be a super happy buyer at that level. Right, moving on to open options interest on this one. I do feel like I waffled quite a lot through the charts. I'm probably quite chaotic, just like the charts are. I think I'll go back after this video and I'll edit them, make them a little bit clearer ready for next time. But I'll also put my support and resistance levels on my website if you want to go and check them there, because I think I just kind of skimmed over everything just to get the content out in a rush, but it'll be there for you. It'll be on eToro as well, as usual. Anyway, back to open options interest. So hard to say sometimes. Move this out of the way. Market makers are sitting at kind of $10. They want to keep it above that to keep max pain on the shorts there. And resistance at $15. I mean, that's right up to where I'd put fair value, so that makes me happy. I certainly would love to see this one get a bit higher, maybe break out above 1270, but a lot of this is kind of mixed bag over the short term. So again, like we're seeing in most stocks, the people are kind of expecting chop on a lot of things. Let's have a look to April 25th. This doesn't account for earnings. I believe earnings was on the 29th. So more of the same, just everything's kind of range bound there. Let's do the week after earnings. Not too much of a change in expectation. It's looking a little bit more bullish, I would say, but again, nothing super exciting to be aware of. Let's push it out to January 2026. So we start to get a bit more bullish when the economy looks like it should be recovering. I'm still very confident H2 things will turn around. Liquidity is going to have to come. If the Fed doesn't cut rates or start QE, I think Besson's going to have to do it. Not a problem though. Each way works for me. Let's go out to January 2027. It's looking a little bit more bullish. We've got higher strikes on that. I don't have a price target currently for that far out, just because I really want to see what's happening with Galileo over the next few quarters. And I think they've kind of said that's not going to be on the bottom line till 2026, 2027. So there's stuff they're working on that really isn't benefiting them financially now. But for the most part, I think investors want to see some pace. Robinhood's moving super fast, and it's not making SoFi look like a great investment from an optics perspective, but fundamentally the company underneath is sound, I think, and super excited about that. See my little assistant getting a bit restless listening to a dog barking down the road. But other than that though, SoFi news, I'm going to quickly go over some things that are happening. The Cash Coach kind of app assistant is in beta production, so that's on the app now. That's quite exciting. Again, it's kind of like what Robinhood have been doing. They give customers these little bit of glitz and glamour. It just kind of gives them a bit of extra perks. I mean, it's not going to be a massive game changer, but it's good that SoFi is pushing these things forward, as a lot of the arguments from the past few weeks have been kind of related to their slowness there. And to that as well, Vadim. I'm not sure how you say his name, but I did catch that on X. So far, I created a team called WebCore that will work on scaling our 80 consumer-facing and internal web applications. So that's something as well, picking up the pace a little bit there. I like to see that. I think the rest of the jobs advertisements hadn't really changed, so something to keep an eye on. Other than that, though, we talked about it earlier, the web traffic, the volume spiking as well. That's good. That's probably related to the golf stuff and all the advertising they've got going on there, seeing a bit of a boom. So they're really good at advertising. Now they just really need to get the customers in the ecosystem and spinning the flywheel with them. Other than that, though, data-driven investing. If you like SoFi and you're lazy, just go. He gives a lot of content away for free, a lot of really in-depth stuff. Super useful. So go over there and check it out. He did make a really interesting comment actually with it, which I hadn't thought about. Obviously, I'm not thrilled with the Galileo growth rate, as a lot of people are, but he did point out that the Galileo's tech platform lack of growth isn't actually very good relative to its competitors. Is actually very good relative to its competitors. And then he put on a chart there, so can't be too angry, but I mean, I'm still a little bit annoyed. Who wouldn't be? That's a wrap. Hope you like this. I've been trying to make the videos shorter, more concise, get the information out a little bit faster. Tell me if you like it. Tell me if you don't. But share this regardless, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you tomorrow for tomorrow's update for PayPal.